Hey, there was a point in time where a group of people revolted from those Brits and started a country so that they could have a constitutional right to pursue happiness. We're going to talk about where does happiness come from? What's the difference between happiness and joy? We believe there's a deeper thing. Happiness are based on the happenings going on in your life.
Mm.
So you're subject to the fluidity of your happenings on whether you can have happiness or not, but you can pursue joy. You can have joy. Joy is a deeper, powerful experience than happiness. John, how am I doing so far? I think that's kind of what we're going for here. So, we're going to have a podcast about building a life of joy.
I love it. I'm trying to imagine what that constitution would have been like, the pursuit of joy, how that would have changed. It's already a funny thing to say, the pursuit of happiness in our
Yeah,
founding declaration.
it is.
It's kind of amazing. I love this conversation. We've been talking a lot about the well, obviously the state of the world for young men. That's our whole deal here. But lately, the sense of hopelessness that the whole problem has, but also the individual young men have.
Yeah.
So, I know a guy he's in a job hunt right now,
Hmm.
and soul crushing hopelessness.
Yeah.
He can't get a job at Home Depot. I mean, it's brutal out there.
Yeah. And I read an
And
article that college graduates are sending out hundreds of resumes with zero
mhm,
responses.
it's yeah, bleak, very bleak.
Yeah.
And then looking at housing prices and knowing that if he
Hmm.
had got to the market 10 years earlier, he would have got a house, but he missed it by that much. Like he can't,
Right.
it's not going to happen here. So then, and he loves this area. He's in Thurston County, but he's like, do I got to move to Mississippi? Do I got to go to
Hmm.
Wyoming to get a house? It's
Yeah.
it's tough. So this hopelessness, and you and I were talking a lot about what is the antidote to that? What is the opposite of that? The opposite of hopelessness is obviously hopefulness, but in a practical sense, that looks like joy. That looks like a life of joy, a circumstance uh, um, agnostic joy.
There you go. I like that word. I keep thinking about the Constitution now and this Declaration of Independence because we hold certain truths to be self evident that God created all people with certain inalienable rights. And one of those is to pursue happiness.
Mm,
So it's a right we have, but it's also an obligation we have. It's also a duty we have. And what we want, what we're talking about, is having something deep that is I like that word, agnostic to the circumstances you're in, that is possible when things are great and possible when things suck. Possible even in grief. The Hebrews had the lament as an act of
mm,
worship. So they were
mm-hmm.
choosing something in their lament that was also connected to something deep. So
Yeah.
this is something we really want for you. So we're going to have four quarters
And
like we
well,
always do. Go
only
ahead.
real quick, I want to say that we don't. This isn't a think happy thoughts. You know, like pretend it's not there.
Mind
We
over
want
mattress.
to, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. We want to really equip you too. So there, we've had conversations about financial acumen, financial
Hmm.
navigability, and the workforce. So this one specifically, don't we hope you won't take this as a just smile through the pain.
Right.
That this is just another tool in your tool belt is cultivating joy in your life.
It is. And it is possible because if you wait for joy, you might wait a while. Some people get lucky, it comes often. But for most of us, it needs to be created, it needs to be
Mhm.
protected, it needs to be pursued.
Yeah.
So, four quarters. Quarter number one. Who killed joy? Where did all the joy go? It seems to be an endangered species. Joy.
Mm.
Second, disciplines that create joy. Third is disciplines that protect joy. And fourth quarter, how to have a sustainable, enduring joy that does in fact exist in any circumstance. So there you go, John. That's where we're headed.
I love it. Excited to get to those. First, kind of breaking into this conversation, we're going to talk a lot about action items and routines and disciplines.
Mhm.
So, Dad, what are some regular practices or habits that feed your life?
I would say my morning routine. I practice a set of habits. They're sequential every morning. They include hygiene and breakfast and walking the dog and reading the scripture and reflecting on the scripture and then playing three games on the New York Times on my phone. So that's all kind of a packaged morning routine. I
Hmm.
feel very disjointed when it doesn't happen, and it brings me stability to start the day. Second is a group of people I meet with on Wednesday nights. We have a thing called Wednesday night tables. And man, I love the group. We got about 9 or 10 of us in there, really becoming really good friends. I'm enjoying that. Date night with your mom. Every Thursday night is my Friday night. And so, yeah, me
That
and your
sounded,
mom.
yeah.
That's funny. So we have a date night either Thursday or Friday, usually Thursday. And then Sunday lunch with the family. We miss you and Julie and Lindsay and Jaden and Eleanor, but it is really fun to have everybody that's local. We try to do lunch every Sunday at our house.
That's awesome.
Those are the practices that really feed me. What about you?
Really similar. Morning routine is a lot less disciplined than yours. I could probably stand to take some of that discipline. It's normally really when Lindsay goes into the office, I get up with her to make her coffee, which helps, gives me something I
Mm-hmm.
can't if I'm too
Gives
slow,
you a reason to get out of bed
Exactly. She'll come
on
in and
time.
yep.
Yep.
So and then yeah, morning spiritual disciplines with reading and prayer, and that's guided by another practice that I'm getting so much life out of is my Wednesday group, discipleship group. So that keeps me on track with those guys as far as like I
Mm.
got to read this stuff
So
because
there's some accountability there.
exactly, yeah, that's the perfect word. Um, Having that, you're convicting me on not having regular date nights with Lindsay. That's convicting, but the regular routine is she comes home. Uh, uh, I ask if I can do anything to help with dinner. Normally the answer is no, because I make quite a mess. She's
Mm.
not keen on that. And then we eat together. We might watch a show. Like, oh, this is a good one. Okay, I'll say this. In the springtime, again, love springtime.
Yeah.
Practicing presence is so easy in springtime for me. That she started planting her gardens for the season.
Mm.
So she's planted cucumbers and squash and tomatoes and onions and corn and sunflowers.
You're going to grow
So
corn.
I guess so. Yeah. Yeah. So every night she goes out to water her garden, and we close the front gate and let Pippin run around.
Mm-hmm.
And I sit on the front step, and sometimes I'll smoke a little cigarillo,
Mm-hmm.
and it's just amazing. We face east or west, so we got the sunset.
Nice.
Um, yeah, yeah.
That's nice.
That one,
When
yeah,
you live when you live alone, the two of you, every night's date night. There is an element to that
right, yeah,
that's really true, unless you decide to both stare at your phones and drift away. But it is true every night's date night, and there's something special about let's go do a thing. But you guys are
yeah.
active. You either do something together or you do something with friends. But it's rarely a weekend will go by that you didn't do something together.
True. Yeah, we try not to just veg out.
Yeah.
So yeah.
All right, let's get into quarter number one. John, who stole all the hope, the joy? Where did all the joy go?
Okay, so thinking about this, really, it's like how much time do you have, right? It's
Yeah.
um I think it's all so it's a we've talked a lot about past and future, uh and depression is linked to the past, anxiety is linked to the future, and some of the remedy for that is in the present.
Hmm.
So you look at the past, man, those guys had it better. Like I was saying, I just missed the housing window. I just missed the job market window.
Yeah.
And then you look to the future and you're like, oh, this is bleak. There's, the climate change. There's the rich are getting richer all the time. The poor are getting poorer all the time.
AI is coming
AI.
for us. Yep.
So then you go, okay, well, I'll be present. And you go, well, in the present, I can't get a house. I can't get this job. I'm in a place I don't like, things like that. But all of that is comparison.
Hmm.
All of that is in either in any of those time frames. You're comparing to
Yeah.
the past, comparing to the
Yeah.
future, comparing to others right now. So not to say that those aren't real hardships and real root facts, but all of that is rooted in comparison.
When you watch a World War II movie and you see particularly Great Britain,
Mm-hmm.
and towns are being bombed. I watched Fury not too long ago, and they're in that little village. I think it might have been France, wherever it was. But these people lived trying to have some normalcy in a world of war. So they're wearing nice clothes, they're cooking meals, they're trying to have as much a normal life as they can in the middle of global conflict.
Mm-hmm.
That's part of kind of how it feels like right now. We're all trying to find a way to a normal life while there's great pessimism about the future, um, no confidence in the government or in organizations, um, a lot of isolation. So it just feels like there is a gray cloud kind of over everything.
Yeah, that distrust is huge. As far as, hopelessness would be, hope is all future focused. So it's saying, yeah, do I trust the people in governance over me? Or do I trust the people, over my church or
Yeah.
over,
It's
education?
Yep, because pastors fail us, everybody's failing us. And it seems like maybe the universal commonality is suspicion.
Yeah. Yeah.
Can I believe the things I'm reading? Can I believe what's on the internet? Can I believe what the government's telling me? Can I believe what my
Mhm.
boss is telling me? Can I believe what my pastor's telling me? Can I believe that these people are who say they are? Can I believe this community is actually real? Can I? It's kind of a universal suspicion.
Absolutely. So then there's, these other, we sound like broken records because some of these sicknesses are the same. There's the isolation. If you are in deep community, you're going to have more joy, less hopelessness, because the again those kind of brute facts. What's going to happen if I don't blank?
Hmm.
The community is there to soften that. So you got this atomized, individualistic culture feeds into that too. It's like a perfect storm.
We have more comfort, John. Talk to me about this. We have
Yeah.
more comfort than ever. We got video games, we got technology, we have climate controlled homes, we have way more ways to entertain and self soothe. We have more comforts than ever, and we're more miserable than ever. Why? Why? How can that be?
This is great timing. I just read a Substack essay on this. The hook was hilarious. I couldn't. It was perfect. This is good writing. If you, I couldn't not read it. The hook was. So I see the title, and you just see the first like paragraph.
Yeah.
It was in 1950, 90% of 18-month-old children were potty trained. Today,
Whoa.
it's like 40% of
Really?
18 months old. Yeah.
So it's affecting our ability to control our bowels at
Well,
infants.
so I was like, didn't have time to read it at the time. So I was like, why could that be? I was thinking women in the workforce. I was like, why could that be?
90 to
And
40.
so this guy says that it's the whole article was on padding. It's on this. We're so comfortable. We're so padded.
Yeah.
His claim for that was disposable diapers, and he says that diapers are designed now so the child doesn't feel any wetness or discomfort. They're designed to be comfortable no matter what.
And mom
In
doesn't have to wash those diapers and reuse them.
Right. So when the with
So
cloth
both are less
diapers,
motivated.
well, yes, but mostly his argument was mostly the kid. So when the
Okay.
kid feels wetness and
Yeah.
discomfort, the kid doesn't want to experience that anymore.
Yeah.
And he knows kind of the feelings that lead to that discomfort. When he doesn't feel discomfort, he has no need really to
Mm,
remedy that. He'll just keep going in his chones.
yeah.
So that was his argument. So he goes on to say, we pad our lives. He talks about climate control in our homes. He talks about sleeping in the winter when with a heater on
Yeah.
increases your insulin resistance, which is not good. Or whichever one's the bad one. Maybe it
Right.
decreases. I can't
Right.
remember. So he talks about and with our anxiety, parents who don't let kids navigate their own risk on the playground. If you're kind of helicoptering on the playground, the kid comes to view any risk as a big deal, a terrifying deal, because they
Mm,
didn't learn how to navigate risk on their own. With if I do this, I might fall. Is that going to hurt? How bad is that going to hurt? Things like that. So all that to say, yes, we're very comfortable, very padded society, and the argument with this guy is it makes you numb. That the padding you can't numb to pain without numbing to joy also. You
mm.
can't like self-select. Like if you take pain meds, or if you get drunk, you lose sensation.
Yeah. The intensity of everything comes down.
Yeah, exactly.
That's interesting. And we're continually marketed to have even more comfort. I mean, back to the potty training, depends. It's not just for bladder control problems. That's the commercial. And I'm like, well, what else is it for?
What else could it be?
Oh, halftime's another 30 minutes away. Bring me one of them depends. I don't want to get
Yeah.
up.
Yeah, I wish I could credit the writer of that. If you search um diaper statistics Substack, you might find it. I started getting ads for Huggies and stuff after
That's
reading that.
hilarious after reading that.
Yeah, yeah, but that's I think there's something to that where like people who won't sit in silence.
Yeah.
Silence is very scary because you're padding yourself from having to think about these dreadful things. But the only way out is through. These are walls that you got to pick up the pickaxe and go.
Okay. So comfort actually can be a challenge because we need discomfort.
Yeah,
We're also overstimulated but undersatisfied.
yeah,
So we have these things that, excuse me, that we think bring us joy. So we're going to video game. Oh, tonight I'm going to get online and video
hmm
game with my buddies. We do the things we do that stimulate us. We have so many things, ways to do that, and yet we're undersatisfied. What's going on there, John?
uh, great question. I think part of that is don't look down, right? Excuse me. um, uh, run, don't look down. It's kind of what I was partly of that, not sitting in silence, but staying busy.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I think cynically, a lot of guys would say, "Hey, this is one of the if you want to talk about joy or happiness, this is one of the few good things I have in my life right now."
Mm.
Like I can't find work, I can't find this real meaning, I can't find other
So
in-person
don't take my video
relationships.
games too.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
hanging out with my buddies across the country or whatever with this.
Hmm.
What do you think?
I think that's true. I think that feeds into the next one on our list, though, which is loss of meaning and purpose. You have all this stimulation, but it's not attached to anything deep.
Yeah.
So we're overstimulated, but we're undersatisfied because we're living on cotton candy.
Mhm.
And there's meaning and purpose that would bring depth to the stimulation if it had it. But the stimulations we're choosing don't have purpose or meaning or deeper connection. So they're not feeding what's really hungry down inside of us is what
Yeah.
I would guess there.
Yeah. But then the burden for young men right now is that we want to equip you. The only unfortunate part is that you have to do.
Mm-hmm.
You have to kind of take responsibility for your own joy. So, of all the burdens we could put on you, hopefully you receive this one uh lightly because what I mean to say is that the world is failing you. I don't want this to be a beatdown of why aren't you doing
Well,
these
we would say
things.
both of these things are true, and they're
Exactly,
and
exactly.
they're and they're equally responsible. So
Yeah.
it is a harder world than it's ever been for young men. The deck is stacked more profoundly. As we started off this whole movement, John, we said a lot. Men used to be an advantaged people group. Now they are a disadvantaged people group. And so we're criticized by the culture. Our needs are overlooked. And there's just a "will pull yourself up and fix it, moron" kind of
Hmm.
approach. So we don't want to pile on the "pull yourself up and fix it, moron" thing.
Right.
It is a challenging world. And the only one who can do anything about it is you. So
Yeah.
those are both true.
I have a question because I keep talking about this like it's unprecedented, and you use that language too in your lifetime with your memory of
Mm-hmm.
living through these different eras. You're not that ancient, but you've
Mm-hmm.
had a few different generations under your belt. Is this really unprecedented? This kind of isolation and hopelessness?
Absolutely, it is. Absolutely, it is. I'm curious. You made me. What flew through my brain just then was valedictorian speeches at graduation. They
Oh,
were always, "Let's go change the world and
yeah.
everything's so great and you have opportunities before you." I wonder now if they've changed into Eeyore, you know, uh, but it does feel significantly different. The job
Yeah.
market was wide open. College was attainable without, bankrupting your future. Uh, Dating was more common. Third spaces, friend groups, doing stuff in groups, hanging out with buddies. Social connection was more. Men were not blamed yet for everything that went wrong in the world, and so it was a way more optimistic environment, I think.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right, let's get to some
Okay.
action items because
Yeah, I was gonna say.
we want to keep reminding you. We pile you up with action item ideas, not as assignments, but as a bucket of ideas that from which you would either go, "Ooh, that one, I'm going to do that one," or it stimulates another one that we never even thought of that you come up with on your own. So hear these as just ideas to get you moving, and we've got three for this quarter here, John.
Yeah, first, we might suggest taking a 24-hour break from social media or news consumption. So that would help kind of remove some of the padding you might have built around your life. And also that comparison we're talking about. If comparison is it the saying, comparison is the thief of joy? Is that the,
Yes.
yeah. So
Yeah.
I don't know why I was like, is that right? Uh, save you from some of that. I think it's huge.
Yeah. Now, you, John, you mentioned to me that you uh, just removed email from your phone, so you've completely dumbfied your phone.
Yeah,
You
I
made your phone
have.
into a dumb phone.
That was the last straw. Was it? Yeah.
And okay, and so that's kind of what you're. That's not a 24-hour break. That's a long-term break. How has that changed how you feel, dumbifying your phone and getting that stuff out of your face?
Well, this is the kind of stuff. So I'm not going to throw my arm out, pat myself on the back. But when I say you're responsible for your own joy, people will go, man, I spend too much time doing this,
Yeah.
or I hate that this, I hate seeing this thing. People follow whole social media accounts out of spite, out of hate. They go, I hate
Mhm.
this guy. I'm going to follow him just so I can watch his stuff and kind of dump on him in my head or in the comments.
I was just guilty of that, and I finally said, "What in the world am I doing? I'm so mad at this person. Why do I keep
Yeah.
doing this?" So, yeah,
So that's what that is for me is you have to go, okay, well, let's put my money where my mouth is. What ends am I willing to go to do this? So
yeah,
this was like talking about virtual friendships. This is kind of a tangent, but I had this Discord group with my college buddies. And so forever it was like, well, through Discord, I could get back to YouTube. This is how a junkie thinks. You got to think of yourself like a junkie. I didn't want YouTube and I deleted it, but they were sending YouTube links and I could click that link and search for whatever I wanted. Go find
yeah,
my other videos.
yeah,
So it's the step one of the addict is you got to admit you got a problem.
yeah,
So I had to tell those guys, hey, I'm going to try and check back here once a week on my computer, but I can't have this on my phone anymore. Here's you have my cell number. Please text me. I'll text you.
yeah.
Goodbye. And I had to delete it. So that's like you have to take your responsibility for that stuff. And what do you really want? And I really wanted to remove that padding.
Well, and that attaches to your presence idea. I want to be in the moment, and these
Yeah.
things take me out of the moment.
Yeah.
The next idea we have is spend one full day without comparing your life to anyone else. And I would say, let's trade FOMO for JOMO. Uh,
Jomo.
yeah, from the fear of missing out to the
The joy
joy
of
of
missing
missing
out.
out. I
That's good.
delight in missing out. If you can, if you can go from FOMO to JOMO,
I don't know why that's cracking me up.
that I'm serious. That's a good strategy. Like, man, let it thrill you.
Yeah.
Somebody had a birthday and you didn't know. Oh man, that's so cool. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
But the joy of missing out. So spend a full day. Here's the last one. Write down three good things about your current season of life. Right now,
Mm,
there are hard things in your season of life. What are the good things in this season of life?
yeah.
And start there. Okay, quarter number two, John. Disciplines that
Yeah.
create joy. Um, being present for the pleasures of your life. Talk to us about disciplines that will create joy.
Yeah. I love this so much. This is so much presence. I'm not going to shut up about presence. I hope it's not annoying. Presence is the gateway to what we're talking about here, to the simple pleasures of life. So uh what the type of things I'm talking about are things that can't be taken from you.
Mhm.
It's sitting in the same room as someone you love.
They're not
I was
wealth
having
based.
coffee. Yeah, not wealth based. There's no barrier to entry here.
There's no economy of access.
Yeah.
These things are
Yes.
available to everybody. Now you were talking about you were in a
Well,
room.
thank you. No, I assume when I think about things a lot, I like jump over some of the first steps. I
Mm-hmm.
appreciate that. Yeah, things that are available to every human being. So some people truly might say, I have no one that I love, or they're not near me. And
Mm-hmm.
that's brutally hard. We're going to talk a lot more about that in quarter four. But if you have someone you love near you, I was getting coffee with two guys that I just love to death, and they're talking about stuff. I'm not even in that conversation. I'm just kind of looking at them,
Mm-hmm.
and it's just the joy I feel just to be there.
Yeah.
In your book, you brought up Dietrich Bonhoeffer's Life Together a few weeks ago. I
Yeah.
can't quit. I only read the first Kindle preview of that book, which
Yeah.
is like 10 pages because it's a tiny book,
But
and I
man,
can't quit thinking about it.
yeah.
How he says how much a blessing it is to be near other Christians, and that
Mm-hmm.
that's not a given for Christians around the world on the mission field.
Right.
So I was thinking about, I think people. comparison is stealing your joy. You think, man, these rich people get to have a yacht. They
Mm.
get to go to Dubai on a vacation, right? Have you ever had, I know you have, I'm asking our audience, have you ever had a bowl of homemade blackberry cobbler and cheap Dyer's vanilla ice cream?
Now,
You ever had that?
Dyer's cheap?
I thought it were Briars. What's the
There's
Dryers?
Dryers and Briars and Blue Bunny and Blue Bell. There's all
Yeah.
kind of ice cream. But let's say you're throwing some cheap ice cream on there.
It's
What
not
you
like a
want? Okay.
Michelin star homemade, home
Right.
churned, milked the cow out back
Right.
thing.
Yeah.
Like that cobbler would cost you $5, and you can pick the blackberries yourself on depending on the time of year. And that's as good a thing you can put in your mouth as any human on earth. No money can buy much better than that.
Hmm.
This is
Hmm.
the kind of stuff I'm talking about. Nature, the birthright of all humankind.
Yeah.
This is no people own land because it's helpful for society. We don't kill each other, but it's kind of a system. No one really owns the beauty of nature's gods. It's equally yours as it is anyone else's.
Hmm.
I'm rambling now. Save me. What do you think
No,
about all this?
I love it. It is attached to presence, but it's about opening your eyes, paying attention to what's around you, even if you are alone. Let's say you don't have people you love near you. You just moved to a new city and you haven't made a single friend. Go to Starbucks, get a coffee, sit close to people who are in community and listen to their conversations and think about the things they're thinking about. You'll realize
Yeah.
that people have relationship drama. They have job opportunities going on. I watch people get interviewed for jobs. I watch two people collaborate on increasing sales. You're just gonna see a lot of humanity go on there, and you can vicariously participate by realizing, man, there's a lot going on in the world. It'll also bring back to yourself. So I think same thing, John. Attention. This is one of your thoughts. Attention is the gateway to joy.
Mm-hmm.
So if you want to lose joy, pay no attention, and if you want to find it, start paying attention.
Yeah. And these are the I know. So I having been depressed,
Mm-hmm.
I know that this is not always apparent. And like I was saying, springtime is easy mode for being present because it's so obvious. All the greens are greener, literally,
Yeah.
not depending on your state of mind. Like they actually are. They're spring green.
Mm-hmm.
There's more bird song. It's a little cooler, but still like nice weather. So there are times when this is going to be easier than others, and when you're actually depressed or the conditions are actually really hard. Like if you're in suffering actively, there is someone you love is in bad health or has recently died and you're in grief.
Mm-hmm.
These are hard facts.
I don't know if
Um,
this works here.
oh my goodness.
That's me
Yeah.
walking Bosco one morning last fall, and I
That
just had
looks
to stop.
amazing.
I had to stop and take a picture of that. That's about paying attention, and
Yeah.
that's the thing you have access to is these the sun, the wind, the elements. And if you're in a cave in your house, you're not going to see them.
Yeah. So even in these brutally hard seasons,
Mm-hmm.
which we're familiar with, uh uh even getting really close, that's like a macro beauty. I love the sunset beauty, especially in Colorado. You guys skies
Yeah,
are ridiculous.
yeah.
But we get really close to a leaf
Mm.
or a drop of water dripping down on something. If you get really close, sometimes it's like it's amazing. It's like a universe unto itself. So I this sounds hippy dippy, kind of wishy washy, but this is real. I mean, this is like a huge gift to my life.
Well, Tuesday night into Wednesday, we had 6 inches of snowfall, first week of May. And so I had to get up and I'm watching as it starts on Tuesday night. I'm watching icicles start to form on my fence right outside my window. And I'm like, wow, it was 71 degrees yesterday, but I've
Mm,
got icicles and frost. And then the trees are getting heavy with wet snow and they're leaning over. And so this morning, it was a full 6 inches. So I'm out there and I'm beating the
mhm.
snow off the trees and I'm letting Bosco run around and you're just engaging with this whole different aspect of nature. But I think all of that speaks to just paying attention and noticing, being aware.
Yeah, and a huge part of this is gratitude. We're going to talk in quarter three all about gratitude, but a big part of this is gratitude for being alive. That realizing that when you wake up and you're conscious and you're mindful,
Yeah.
you're self aware. That's a remarkable thing. That is not nothing. It's not a given. It's not a granted. But
Okay,
that
so we're
is,
talking about,
yeah,
yeah, go ahead. We're talking about disciplines that create joy, the
sure.
discipline of awareness, the discipline of presence,
Yeah,
the discipline of, choosing to get outside.
yeah.
Uh, what about the discipline of boundaries? I think
Mm,
because there are things that take our joy, we can create joy when we put them behind a fence and say, not today.
mhm,
So that's what you've done with social media and dumbing down your phone. That's what you do when you have toxic people or toxic scenarios or news stories that are always depressing. Put up a fence, turn the news off.
totally.
So, boundaries, the discipline of boundaries, can also be a joy creator because it shuts off the black cloud or the mind numbing that is just drilling it deeper inside you. So, boundaries is a very important discipline when it comes to creating joy.
Huge. Yeah. That's huge. And you can't, because the discipline of presence is in conflict with the things that you are putting in a boundary. So I'd call that a productive boundary. That
Mm-hmm.
you're actually, it's not just negation, but that you're freeing up bandwidth for presence in the first place.
Yeah, yeah.
And then you have to actually practice that as its own discipline, like we're talking about.
Another one I would say is the discipline of rhythms, patterns, habits. We both mentioned our morning routines as part of what feeds us. We mentioned the habit of getting in a group of people we meet with every week. You had your guys, I have our tables. We talk about the habit of Sunday lunch with my family. That way, you don't have to say, "When are we going to get together?" Have your people call my people.
Mhm.
But you put a rhythm, you put a pattern. So rhythms, habits, and patterns are another discipline that can be joy creators.
Yeah. If you have any kind of space where you can be outside, literally in any capacity. In my last apartment, we were in like a gutter. The parking lot is here, and
Yeah,
there's a walkway to the first floor,
yeah,
and then there's like this pebbly gutter where we were, kind of
yeah.
like sub, but still like our patio was out in this rocky thing.
Yeah, your glass door to your patio was at about ground level, the top of your glass door.
The top of it, yeah. So you look
Yeah,
into this
yeah,
bank of bricks.
yeah,
Um, Even there, and so some people are like, oh, that'd be nice. I just have a little, I'm on the 15th floor and I got this little patio. But even there, we had a little seat and you could look up and we had these tall pine trees down the way. All I'm saying is a rhythm of changing of setting.
yeah.
Literally just go and sit outside. And I think that's so simple and kind of a what's the word like a platitude, it's kind of cheesy and dumb, and but it's just true. I hope that is settling in, that you might try that. I'll say that as our first action item. I'll
I
say
was going to
literally
say,
just,
we're getting
yeah,
into action items now, and
yeah,
that's the first one. Spend 30 minutes outside. Get outside in nature. If it's raining, go out anyway. Take an umbrella or put something under, get under a
yeah,
covering, whatever, but spend 30 minutes outside. Another one would be eat
yeah.
one meal this week really slowly with
Mm,
no phones. Put your phones, have everybody at the table put their phone in a basket and put the basket somewhere else. We're going to sit here without our phones and eat slowly. Uh, yeah.
love that. I like this one. Revisit a simple joy you loved as a kid. uh Kids are, well, when I was growing up, kids are almost never bored, and
Mm-hmm.
young kids, I think, are still almost never bored.
Mm-hmm.
And they're creating. I think we mentioned in our 1024 about creating as opposed to consuming,
Yep.
and it's a simple joy. If you think, oh, I used to draw, I used to really be into that,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
do it for fun again. It's not
Play-Doh,
about it. Yeah, Play-Doh.
coloring
Love Play-Doh.
books. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Not necessarily if you had done this as a kid, but an instrument, learning instruments, a huge source of joy and
Yeah.
frustration, but
Yeah.
joy via frustration.
Forts, build a pillow fort or make a tent. Yeah, we had a tent one time when I was a kid. I used a blanket and I put bricks. I went out in the front yard and got these extra bricks we had, and I put bricks on the windowsill to hold the blankets there. And then I had bricks at the bottom so that I had this lean-to of blanket. And somehow playing around in there, I turned over and I pulled a brick off the windowsill and it hit me right here. I still have a scar and a little ding in my bone here from this brick. Uh,
Goodness.
but build a fort, make a tent. All right.
And with the wisdom of an adult who's not going to pull a brick down on his head. So it's a win-win.
Yeah. Last one is schedule some intentional time with somebody you really enjoy. Uh, Book a time. Hey, let's go this week. I want to sit down We'll do nothing meaningful or something meaningful or whatever, but let's get together.
I love it.
All right, it's halftime, John. Book time. You get to go first. What's your book recommendation today?
My book is maybe the most joyful book I've ever read, at least as far as
Oh,
fiction goes. It is book three of the Chronicles of Narnia, The Voyage of the Dawn Treader. Not in chronological order, it's book four, but in publishing order, it's book
mm,
three. Um, it is so fun. It's about a boat journey to the end of the world, and there's a chivalrous talking rodent. He's either a rat or a mouse. I can't remember. He's very, he's like a knight. He's very honorable, and he's on this quest. There's the kids that come in. One of them is Eustace. He has this incredible transformation. He's just the worst kid in the world. The opening line's hilarious. It's like there was a boy named Eustace Scrub, and he almost deserved it. Like he almost deserved that name. And it's so joyous. It's the most fun I think of all of them, and just the most imaginative.
will
There's
it
this
stand
island.
alone? Could I pick it up if I hadn't read the others?
Yeah, I think so. I think
Okay.
you'd miss out maybe on a little bit, but it'd be fun.
Yeah.
There's this island. It's because they go to these different islands on the way, and they get so bizarre. And there's one where like these stars are so close to the island, like floating fireballs, but they're the stars. It's beautiful. It was
Mm,
such a joyful book.
that's awesome.
Yeah.
All right. Mine is Everybody's Normal Until You Get to Know Them.
Mm,
This is John Ortberg. It's a book about community relationships. He's a very funny writer. He's a pastor in California. I find him to be very funny. I don't remember if it's in this book or a different one. He tells the story about a buddy of his who had cancer, started on chemo, and all his hair fell out. So it was as it was falling out, he decided to sneak into the bathroom and shave his head. His wife and kids were home because he didn't want it to just patch out, right?
sure.
So he comes out with tinfoil over his head into a pointed cone, and he runs around with his shirt off in his underwear saying, "I'm chemo man." And he turns it into this little funny moment with his family. This horrible season they're going through, he made it something. Anyway, everybody's
Man,
normal till you get to know them. I can't remember if that story's in this book, but I'm saying John Wartburg is a great writer. You'll laugh out loud. It's very helpful. I love this book.
that's great. Good stuff. As usual, you complete me. We've covered the basis. I did a children's fairy tale book, and yours is a great story
Oh my
of
gosh.
human
Well, I really want to read
flourishing.
yours. I need to read fantasy. I just life's too serious for me. Why
Wait,
so serious?
I had I promise a brief tangent. I had the best summer job a kid ever had in high school. I had it for about 3 or 4 summers at a boat rental shop
Oh
on
yeah, I
Deep
love
Lake
that. I love that.
in Miller State
Yeah.
Park. And I would bring the early months, early weeks were really slow before
Hmm. Summertime
Fourth of
really hit.
July.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. And so I had the whole Narnia, the fat collection of all of them in one. And I would read a whole one on a shift. They're really brief, really fun. So
Mm,
you would breeze through it. A big recommendation.
that's awesome.
Okay.
Quarter
Quarter
number
three,
three.
disciplines that protect joy. So we talked a bit about disciplines that create joy,
Hmm.
and now disciplines that protect it, specifically gratitude and celebrating others.
All right. So
Huge. I mean,
gratitude.
yeah, yeah.
Gratitude's
Gratitude is
huge.
like,
It's a
yeah,
gateway to joy. It is also, I believe, a birthmark of a true Christian. How can you have anything other than profound gratitude for the God who redeemed you, made you, loves you, forgave you, removed your shame? Gratitude should be a natural thing, a birthmark of a person who knows they've been transformed. And it is a gateway to incredible joy.
mhm,
Uh, you could do everything else we talk about in this whole episode, but if you can't find yourself with gratitude and uh, appreciation,
mhm.
nothing else we talk about will really help you.
Yeah. Well, so yeah, even those things like appreciating a simple dessert or a simple moment in nature,
Hmm.
if you don't have a kind of gratitude for the experience itself, for either its rarity or its aesthetic brute value, then there is no real way to internalize that.
Yeah, last weekend I went to the Supercross races at Denver and Power Field where the Broncos play, and your brother and I bought him tickets to this for his Christmas present. And instead of taking his wife, he took me. So I was pretty grateful. But so we left really early. We went and had some good Mexican food. The weather was spectacular. We had to park a long ways away, so it's a long walk. We're sitting there. We love motorcycles. You're smelling race fuel.
I love that smell.
It's a great smell. Uh, you know, fascinating people around us. And I bet one of us said multiple times. We finished the races at 9:30 at night. Drove to In-N-Out Burgers and had a burger and fries
Oh my
on our
gosh.
way home. And both of us said multiple times, "Who are we that we get to enjoy something like this?"
Yeah.
Just profound gratitude. It makes everything that's great even greater.
Yeah. This is the best day of my life. The in and out is, I forget you guys even have that.
Yeah.
That's just hedonistic. You should be ashamed.
All right.
uh Celebrating others. So the other
Yeah.
part of this gratitude, if our diagnosis is correct that comparison is the root of this hopelessness,
Yeah.
comparison to other times, and not at all, again, not to negate the reality of that you are in a harder era than your dad was at this age, for instance. But that does, if you go back far enough, you'll see that's not always the case. You think about the Great Depression; it's
Hmm.
another source of gratitude. So there is comparison that actually helps your gratitude, but celebrating the success of others and the victories of others is huge for this. What that does
Hmm.
for your actual for your heart. Can you help me think of? I'm trying to think of an example that we could give for this. Um,
Well, a friend earning an advanced degree,
mhm,
somebody getting a promotion, somebody having a baby or finding out they're pregnant. Um, those are pretty easy ones because they don't compete with you. I think the most powerful ones are when you celebrate something that feels like something you could have had or you wish you had.
mm,
So I think when you celebrate something somebody else achieved or received that you kind of wish and have been longing for, to celebrate that is even more powerful because it takes your thoughts off of grieving what I don't have to
yeah,
celebrating what somebody else has. And I think it even inspires, kind of as a side effect, it inspires hope in your own heart for yourself.
yeah. If you so some of this is we're suggesting you feel something. We're suggesting you feel joy for another person's success.
Hmm.
That can be very hard to do. Would you recommend a fake till you make it kind of thing, like meditate on their success and acknowledge up here that it's a good thing, that this is good for them, this is their flourishing, it's good for the world, and
Yeah,
then
I would.
kind of hope that'll sink in.
Well, that's the discipline of protecting joy. It's
Yeah.
a discipline. So you might be doing it not out of good nature or positive emotions. You might be doing it as a discipline, and that's okay.
Mhm.
So do it anyway. Text somebody and tell them, man, um, way to go. Happy for you.
Yeah.
Um, I don't think you have to feel warm fuzzies to do it. In fact, that's when you should do it most is when you don't have those.
Yeah. And maybe a discipline for this is praying for other people. If
Hmm.
praying in your prayers, thanking God for their success. Or if it's someone who is intimidating to you because you think they're like you, but better. I've met a few people. It's like, man, that's John 2.0. I just met.
Hmm.
That guy's everything that I could be. Pray that for their flourishing as a way to
Yeah, and I
soften your,
think
your
I
heart.
think these merge together. As in all the things, your favorite word this season of your life is presence.
Mhm.
Presence, awareness, being in the moment. These all help. Even if you, let's say, um, pastors have this all the time. My church isn't growing. People are leaving. Money's down. Giving is tough. Pastors, the average pastors 80 to 100 people. So they see these mega churches or churches growing, or they're building a new building, or they're opening another campus, or they're going to open another campus right next door to yours, and you think it's going to hurt you
Mm,
even more. And you start to pucker, and you feel like a failure, and you feel like why aren't I having this kind of thing? And that's when you dial in that moment, and you thank God for who He is. You remind yourself that you were called to be faithful, not successful. You re anchor, and you go ahead and celebrate somebody else's thing because somebody's finding their way to Jesus, somebody's having a good
Mm,
thing. So you start realizing what good is there in that.
yeah.
And so it does all of that. It shifts you to gratitude again. It takes you away from covetousness and selfishness or depression or, counting what you've lost or what you don't have. And it moves you back to the constructive emotions of gratitude, appreciation, awareness, presence, and hope.
Yeah. I think that's huge. Last we would say is that when you are so a lot of this is kind of cutting off comparison, except for in the positive sense,
Mm-hmm.
in celebration, but in the gratitude sense, you're internally focused, and when you're there, you can be grateful for progress.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're focused on yourself, you can say, "Hey, I'm not perfect. I'm not where I want to be, but with some of these disciplines, I'm more joyful than I was yesterday."
Mm-hmm.
Or God, I feel closer to you than I did yesterday. That can also protect your kind of joy also by being grateful for those
And
that
even as
progress.
simple as yesterday, I got mad about this, but today I'm choosing to talk to you, God, about it.
Mm-hmm.
That's progress.
Yeah,
So just the fact that you're staring at it and choosing to take it on is progress.
yeah, yeah. By the fact of even trying at all,
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
progress.
Okay. Action items. Write down three things you are grateful for every morning. Maybe this part of your morning routine for a while. Just three things I'm grateful for this morning.
Yeah. You mentioned it earlier, but send a text to someone to encourage them or celebrate their success. That's kind of
Yep.
it'll build them up and soften your own heart.
That's right. Pray a gratitude prayer before bed every night. Get on your knees or sit on the edge of the bed and just say, God, before I go to sleep, I just want to thank you. I'm going to go through my day. Man, I had a great lunch. Man,
Mm,
I bumped into that person. I hadn't seen him in a while. I got a text from somebody. I'm really grateful for that. Just run through your day and find a few things you're grateful for and replay the list and thank God for it.
beautiful. Stop complaining about one recurring frustration for 7 days for a whole week. Um, that's
it,
good.
it is
That's
good.
yeah. That's a helter skelter a little bit of just the more you ruminate on it.
Yeah, I can't buy a house. The economy's stacked against me. Take a 7 day fast from talking about it.
Yeah,
Those kind of things.
yeah,
All right, we're down to quarter four, John, and that is finding a joy that can actually be sustainable in any circumstantial reality. So, good times, bad times, hard times, grieving times. Talk to us about a joy that can surpass understanding and be with us in any circumstance.
yeah. A joy that is what do we call it? A circumstance agnostic, right? That's
Yeah, yeah.
a good phrase for it. Um, so I was imagining scenarios, right? Because we're given a lot of. I'm thinking sure like in my harder times like when I was in this time or when I was in this apartment or could I are these prescriptions I'm giving people to practice joy, is this possible?
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, okay, what if you have no freedom? What if you have no one you love? The food's bad and you can't experience nature? That's prison. I was like, okay, what if you're an inmate?
Mm-hmm.
What if I'm talking to someone in jail? They literally can't go outside.
Yeah,
The food's trash.
yeah.
No one they love can really see them except for on rare occasions.
And they have to be on guard against being hurt by others all the
Yeah.
time.
Yeah, you're in physical danger,
Yeah.
Yeah. So in a circumstance like this is where, and not to say you only need the root of joy that is God in prison, of course. Um, but there we would have that we've talked a bit about loneliness, an internal source of companionship, of approval and acceptance, of love, of beauty, of actual aesthetic beauty.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, and this is all very abstract and beautiful. Help me bring this down. What we're talking about here, even in the example of a guy in prison. How does this look in a life?
Well, there's a book by Viktor Frankl
Mm-hmm.
called Man's Search for Meaning. And he was a psychiatrist who said, you have choices. People can never take away your choices. And this would be the basis of your ability to build a sustainable sense of self and joy. And then he went to a concentration camp. He was Jewish. He was captured and put in a concentration camp. And they do everything there to remove your sense of identity,
Mm-hmm.
to take away any form of dignity. And he said, people are starving, they're naked a lot, they're being tortured, they're being abused. You're waking up every day to more people who've died. And he said it was the place where he still could hold on to. They cannot steal my ability to choose where my brain goes, what I cherish, and
Mm.
what I hold on to. And so that's what he clung to. And the book is incredible. Your sister Julie reads this book probably every year. It's an incredible book.
It's been on my shelf forever. I need to. It just sounds it's daunting in how intense the subject matter
It
is.
is, it is, but man, it's built on this reality, and he lived it. So that's a thing. Here's a
Yeah.
guy who lived in the worst situation you can imagine, and he was able, and he got to, because he watched how people process their pain and process the circumstances. He saw what the difference was between those people in the concentration camp who died faster and the people who
Mm.
lived longer. And this is what they had that the other ones didn't have, is they had a deeper connection to the eternal. They had a deeper connection to their dignity and sovereignty as a person. You can beat me, you can take the gold out of my fillings, you can remove my wedding ring, you can take away my family members, you cannot kill my heart. um,
Man.
and so there's something there that can be had, and this is really what we're trying to do, is inspire you to recognize that there is an eternal reality. There is a deep purpose for your life. You are not a mistake in the universe. There is a deep meaning attached to you.
Hmm.
And there's a giver of that great meaning. And by finding yourself anchored and rooted there, you become indestructible. And to me, it's been the foundation. When my dad died, I went through a battle of depression when I was 12. And then at 16, when my dad died, I began to have suicidal ideation, and I was just not happy. And when I came to faith in Christ, it has become the rock foundation. This is, Jesus talked about building your house on a rock, building on sand. And when the storm comes, the house on sand collapses. But there's a house you can build on a foundation that is so strong that there is no storm alive that can take it from you.
Hmm.
And
Hmm.
that's what I think we're talking about.
Yeah. I feel ashamed that we haven't talked about, we mentioned it in the 1024, but living for others besides yourself.
Yes.
So uh a comparison is outward focused in a negative way, but self-forgetfulness is, we've talked about the gateway to joy. Presence is the gateway to joy. Gratitude is the gateway to joy. Self-forgetfulness is there too. You in service to others. So in the communal sense,
Mm-hmm.
you forget yourself and you're free. You know, it, uh, physical freedom is one thing, but it's almost fake if you are not internally free.
Right.
So uh, it comes into I'm looking for this. I have the sense of it. There's the higher power. Talking about addicts again.
Mm-hmm.
Addicts need the higher power.
Mm-hmm.
In the same way, without a root of joy that can take you out of yourself.
Yep.
That seems to be what a lot of what Viktor Frankl is talking about.
Yes.
Is you have to have something beyond you. And if you're just in here, just spinning around, there's no way, there's nothing beyond you. If you have nothing there, then where your joy is so fickle, that kind of happiness we were talking about at the beginning, that is not agnostic to circumstance.
Navel gazing is the best description of that, because you're
Yeah.
bent over, looking in your navel, staring in the black hole of a big belly button of lump. and and because you're bent over like that, you can't see anything above you, you can't see anything around you, you're oblivious to everything because you're just staring in this black hole of your own emptiness.
Yeah.
And it won't take you anywhere. Now, if you've lasted this long in the episode, you're about to get rewarded for that. There's a movie, John, that all of this made me think about,
Hmm.
that I absolutely love. And so here it is. Okay, you got to watch this movie this week. If you're in this episode, get this movie. It's called Father Stew.
Oh
John,
yeah, the Mark
John, did you
Wahlberg
ever see
movie.
Father Stew?
I watched it with you, I think.
Oh man, I first watched it on an airplane, and I'm by myself, and I got my headphones in, and I'm watching Father Stew, And for the first half of the movie, I am laughing so loud. People keep looking over at me. I can't stop laughing. It's Mark Wahlberg is Father Stu. He becomes Father Stu. He crushes the humor. Him and Mel Gibson. It's so dang funny. I cannot stop laughing out loud. And then as the movie turns, I am sobbing. I'm trying so hard to cry quietly and not let it. I got my hat down over my eyes. I cannot stop crying. It's
People think they're next to a psycho or
Yeah.
something.
Now, my brother did not love this movie as much as I do. Ironically, I thought he would feel the feels like I did. But I'm telling you, it in particular addresses this fourth quarter we're talking about.
Yeah.
It is watching this play out in a person's life.
Yeah, so the premise is kind of a reckless young man, an angsty, reckless young man eventually becomes a Catholic priest. And there's the kind of a before and after in his life.
Brutal relationship
Um,
with his dad, brutal
yeah.
upbringing. Yeah.
So this is huge. So we've talked a lot about the past and the future in comparison. This eternal root of joy that is God. So it's a great example. If you watch Father Stu, I won't spoil it, but he has, of course, shame, regrets.
Hmm.
If you're concerned with the past and the future, God redeems a past.
Hmm.
You don't have to be depressed of your past anymore. Excuse me. It's been redeemed. He has in the future. You're anxious about the future. What's the full end of that? The fairy tale ending of the world of they live and then they lived happily ever after.
Yep.
That's it, that he would fulfill all of his promises.
And he's already secured that. That's a
Yeah,
guarantee.
yeah. So even then, it's like, well, I'm having a hard time centering. Okay, live in the timeline in the past and future, and find the root of your joy there. Find God in there and see
Mhm.
see the story from that angle.
I love it, John. That's great. All right, let's get to action items and wrap this up here. Action item number one: spend 10 minutes every day in prayer or just in quietness with God. With a mindful awareness, God, I'm choosing to be in your presence. I
Mm.
might use a lot of words. I might not use a lot of words at all, but I'm going to sit here. I recommend having a notepad or something with you because when I do this, to-do lists pop in my head and I'm afraid I'll forget them. So now I'm distracted. Oh, I can't forget to do that. If I
Yeah,
have a little piece of paper there, I can write it on a piece of paper, scoot it off to the side, and now I'm not worried I'll forget it. So, but 10 minutes, total quiet with God, an awareness of God, 10 minutes.
I love that practice, and I found with my Wednesday guys when we do this, it's like the fire hydrant opens, like you're saying, like you're not focusing on God at all. You're just all your
Mm-hmm.
life stuff. So I would say it might be a frustrating experience, but keep with it because I think it's actually its own skill that you eventually get better
Mm-hmm.
at not letting the flood come in.
Yeah.
And the notepad's great. Uh, I love this. Another action item would be read one psalm each morning this week.
Mm-hmm.
I love those. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah. Psalms are great. The next one would be memorize a scripture about hope or joy and just memorize it. Write it on a little card, put it in your pocket, pull it out. If you pull it out multiple times, you will memorize it. You think, I can't memorize stuff. You can.
yeah.
So, do a little search. You could even do a Google, turn on a Google machine and do a search about scriptures about hope or joy, and you'll find tons to choose from. Pick one you like, write it on a little card, put it in your pocket, memorize it. Um, it'll really encourage you.
My maybe my all-time favorite. I memorized this a while ago. I don't think I still have it entirety, but in about the midway point of Job, a little later, he says, "I know my Redeemer lives, and I will see him in the land of the living with my own eyes." He says, "Me and not another. I will see him."
Man,
Oh, I love it. I love it.
that's great.
Yeah.
Don't worry about anything. Pray about everything. And the peace of God that transcends all understanding will guard your heart and your mind in Christ Jesus. Boy, there's just so many of them. The Bible's full of them.
Yeah. Yeah. Turns out. Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome. Okay. Thank you guys so much for listening. I don't even know how long this one's been, but really grateful for your time and we really hope and pray that this is helpful in some way to somebody. We don't do a lot of BS in here. This is all stuff that actually, enriches our lives.
Yep.
Huge announcement. Dad, take it away. What's our huge announcement?
We have become a 501c3 nonprofit organization, the Honest Path for Men. And we made this step. We're official with the IRS. We're official with the state of Colorado. And we can now give tax giving credit for contributions made to the honest path. And this was important to us because we've had patrons. Many of you have been our patrons on Patreon and supporting us. But this is huge because now we can take the pressure off of generating the revenue for all the overhead through the products we produce or the events we put on, etc. Now we can just focus on serving men and helping encourage men and the people who love them. So we're going to increase. We also decided to do wraparound thinking. How can we help men? We can help men directly. We can help the people who love men, parents, grandparents, family members, and we can raise up a generation of older men who will mentor younger men. So we're increasing our product offerings. We're increasing a parenting cohort. We're increasing resources to help older men be recruited on how to mentor younger men. It's snowballing now because we can take that financial pressure off of trying to make things sell.
Yeah.
So what that means is we need a base of support that really removes all that pressure. So now our only pressure is to get that base model of support so we can just focus on serving men and the people who
Yeah.
love them.
Yeah, we never want to be just another a set of influencers trying to get money from the people we're trying to minister to. So this clears it up. Instead of being a for-profit private partnership, we are now a minute. We can be what we wanted to be the whole time. We're a ministry trying to equip people without having to take their change. So your
And
donations go are
yep.
everything for that.
And neither of us have ever wanted to have a $10,000 a month income from it being influencers. We
Right.
want to help people. So our base of operations is very small. We need $5,000 a month. We'll pay for everything and we don't have to worry about a thing. So we're trying to recruit our we call it a founders circle. And these are people who will say, I'm all in, I'll do 200 a month. If we get 25 of those, all of the financial pressure is off. We've got a handful of them right now. We just began. And if you're interested in that or supporting us at any level, go to the website, jimandjohn.com, no H in the John, jimandjohn.com, and our donor pathway platform is right there on the website. You can make a gift of any size. You can make a monthly gift, or you can join the Founder Circle. And Founder Circle, we give out of gratitude for that. We give one-on-one hour per month to those founders with either Jim or John, whichever one you pick, as just a thank you to just spend time with you and thank you.
Yeah. Well, thank you guys so much for your support, and if not, just your time. Really glad you're here. If you've got any topic ideas or questions, or you want to tell us we suck, there's the comments. Throw them in there,
Absolutely.
and we appreciate you.
Have a great day.